I rewatched the movie Sixth Sense. So he's dead the whole time. And I don't know. I mean, if you haven't seen it, it's a pretty big part of it. But for those that have, think about when you watched it. When we all saw this movie for the first time, none of us knew he was dead. That was the biggest surprise we've ever seen in our life, We just thought his wife wasn't talking to him for like a year. That made more sense to us than him possibly being dead.
Oh, that's comedian Nate Bargatze. He'll be in Salt Lake on September 29th and 30th with shows at the Delta Center, making good old fun of the silent treatment in marriage. Welcome back to Studio 5. We laugh because we can relate, right? Every couple has felt it, sort of that awkwardness or that anger that can linger after a fight. And sometimes the motivation to thaw things out and warm things up is slow to come. My next guest is calling on women to be the icebreakers, not the ice. Studio 5 contributor Dr. Liz Hale is here to help us do that. You say women have superpowers in this situation.
We do. We have superpowers, period. And we use those powers either for better or for worse, right? Many times I ask myself, okay, Liz, so if Ben were to write a Google review on you, what would he say? Right? Because really, he's the only person in this whole wide world that can tell you what it's like to be married to me. And that's rather very humbling. Keeps me in check a little bit.
Yeah, it would. Yeah. To think what might be said about this marriage, about my contribution to the marriage, how I show up.
That's right, how I show up, exactly.
You have 5 short and sweet statements that we can take to heart and embrace that will get our marriage back on track without forcing a husband to change or to comply or even agree. First on your list is to remember that life is too short.
It's so true, isn't it? I mean, self-improvement, right? There's always room for improvement. It's the biggest room in the house, I like to say. But Queen Elsa, wasn't she the one that would say, let it go?
Let it go.
I really do like that life is too short. I did a little survey recently just asking couples, how long is your longest fight? And I was really surprised how long it goes. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. And it's just way, way too long. And what happens is we just kind of memorize why we're mad. And it takes such energy to be angry. So I think we really do need to practice letting it go. And don't wait until you feel like repairing, because it'll be a long time, right? What I do love to always suggest is that I change my behaviors and my feelings follow. B comes before F in the alphabet. And you can just soften your heart. So do something for that. Even when you're ticked off, make a sandwich, bring them lemonade if they're working outside. Do something, or swat them on the fanny, but lightly, right? Not hard. Just to show that, we're still in this, and I love you, and you're just a mere mortal like I am.
But B before F.
Behaviors lead to a change in feelings.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that
That's
a lot.
the secret.
So, too much time off then, hurtful. But what about a little time off? Like to cool, to separate, to get my head?
A little time off is really good, especially when it's limited. But an indefinite time off is hurtful, right? John Gottman is the one that coined this best, that it takes 20 minutes for us to be, when we get physiologically flooded, it takes 20 minutes to calm down, right? So really allow yourself a little space and a little grace to remember that, I'm just going to go wash the dog, wash the car, take a walk, do something, and not rehearse what I'm going to say when I come back. I'm going to do something that takes my mind completely off it, because I love this person. And they're just mere mortals like I am. So a little space and a little grace, I think, is really key.
In pursuit of being the icebreaker and not the ice, you encourage us to write a top 10 list of sorts.
I know. Count those blessings, right? Not the blunders of each other. I do. I love just this idea of drop and give me 10, right? 10 gratitudes about the things that I really love about this man I'm married to. It helps me focus on what is really great here. And I don't get so distracted by just the silly things that don't matter day in and day out. And most of them are rather silly things. One woman I worked with, she would be so perturbed when her husband would come home in the evening and he'd sit in his favorite chair and watch TV instead of cuddling by her. And she finally said, you know what? I just got to a point where I was grateful he came home. He fixed dinner. He had a movie in mind for us to watch. And suddenly the energy in our home changed because the energy changed with me. That's that superpower again that women have. I don't think we always realize how powerful we are.
Well, you talk about counting those blessings instead of the blunders. In the case of an argument or a disagreement, it is so easy to run the script in your head. Like, here is why I'm mad, here is why I'm justified, and you're saying shake that loose and press forward with a more loving energy.
Yeah, life is too short. Yep. Let's get on to bigger and better things, right? Things that are more important.
I'm going to just let you run away with this next one, okay? Don't make me say
Why
too
would
much
that be?
here. My cheeks might go red. Flash them. You say flash them.
Yes, flash them. Yeah, exactly. You know, and sometimes that means showing up naked, doing something that really just surprises the heck out of your partner. It's kind of fun. I won't tell you who shows up naked at my house, but there is someone who's really quite good at it. But you know, I worked with a couple that they were separated for a while, and I suggested to her, you know, they're still married. I said, you know, flash them, meaning those pearly whites,
of course,
or anything else you want to flash them. So one night he brought the boys home from soccer practice, and she had a robe on, and she just, after the boys left and went to their room, she just kind of flashed him a little bit, put her robe down, flashed him. But that was the beginning of really softening things between them.
That was the icebreaker.
It was pretty sweet. Yeah, icebreaker without the ice.
So it becomes just disarming, just trying to bring, again, that different energy. I'm trying to just politely soften what we just said, but I hear you.
I really love this person.
Sure.
Right? I really love him.
Finally, you say if we want to soften, we need to look with a lens of love.
Mm-hmm. You know, we interviewed a BYU professor, Chad Ford, on the Stronger Marriage Connection podcast, and he was saying that we tend to look at each other either as obstacles or people, nothing in between. Conflict is just a part of life. And how am I really going to look at my partner? You know, I was upset one morning, this was years ago, pardon me, early in marriage, and I was buzzing around my home office and mad at Ben for some crazy reason. Who knows why? I have no idea, right? Usually we don't even remember why we're fighting. But I came across this tender picture of him as a baby. His mom was holding him, he had diapers on, and I just melted almost to tears. It's like, oh, I love that sweet soul.
Yeah.
Right? We all started out kind of the same, and he's a precious child. And for those that believe, you know, in God, he's a child of God, or just softening my heart of it's just a beautiful child. Mm-hmm. You know, and I love him. I love him as he is. He's darling, isn't he?
He is.
He's still
so
that cute to me.
He's
still that cute to me.
You've told me you keep baby pictures of each other in your offices.
You know, we do, just to keep that tender feeling alive of who the other really is.
Yeah, that child of God.
Yeah, as adults, you know, we have blunders, we make mistakes, and we get upset and we have bad days, and yet we're all just really at the heart kind of the same.
Yeah, be the icebreaker, and ultimately it comes down to showing up how you want to, digging into those core values, whether who's right or wrong or justified or not. This is how we want to show up,
and here's
right?
the good news is that how I want to show up is just a decision. It's not a feeling. It's a decision. And I can do it day in and day out.
I love that, Lizzie. Thank you so much. Love you too.
Yeah,
Am I still blushing?
No, you're back.
You're the best.